What's up, card fighters? This is Apex Rex here, your Tachikase veteran, and today we are here for a deck profile, the premium deck profile. Something I've been cooking up the last few days, kind of like as a side project. I apologize for the delay in videos. I was going through a really rough time. I think, 25 or 26 days nicotine free as of this video's recording. And it's been a rough journey. Mood swings from hell. I've been having nightmares where just stress nightmares, but I'm smoking in every single one of those nightmares. Like it's in my subconscious, it's in the back of my head at all times, and it has just been making me so moody and just all over the place emotionally. So I had to stabilize myself. I cleaned myself up today, did some chores. We're in better spirits. So with this, we are going to bring you this new deck profile. I hope y'all enjoy it, and let's get started. Alright, starting off the deck profile, we have the main unit of the deck, the main grade 3. We have Evil Stealth Dragon Akatsuki Hanzo. Akatsuki Hanzo has one effect. It is simply act once per turn, retire 2 grade 0 rear guards. This unit gets plus 20,000 until end of turn. Choose any number from all rear guards and return them to hand. If your opponent's vanguard is grade 3 or greater, your opponent chooses cards from his or her hand equal to the number of his or her cards returned with this effect and discards them. So basically, you get to reset your on-place effects if you want to by bouncing your own cards to your hand. If your opponent's at grade 3 or greater, say like they have 3 rear guards, bounce those 3 rear guards, they gotta discard 3. They run tokens, they happen to run into a token deck that's even more oppressive because they still have to discard for the same number returned, so the tokens will disappear when they go to the hand, but they still have to discard for those tokens. So all in all, pretty solid effect. Even if your opponent's not at grade 3, sometimes you'll use the effect just to reuse your on-place abilities, which you have quite a few in this deck. You got quite a few. So this card has a lot of utility to it. So moving on, we have the backup unit. For the deck, we have Evil Stealth Dragon Tasagare Hanzo. He has quite a few effects, so bear with me here. His hand ability is at the beginning of your opponent's turn, if your vanguard is Evil Stealth Dragon Akatsuki Hanzo, discard 2 cards from your hand, ride this card as rest, and all of your rearguards get plus 5,000 shield until end of turn. At the end of that turn, ride an Evil Stealth Dragon Akatsuki Hanzo from your soul as rest. And then it has a soul ability. When your vanguard with Hanzo in its card name attacks, retire grade 0, call this card to rearguard, and until end of turn, this unit gets plus 20,000 and can attack from the back row. At the end of that turn, put this unit into your soul, and if you put it into your soul, call an evil decoy token to rearguard. So, this deck is all about evil decoy tokens. They are grade 0s with intercept and the ability that they can attack and they can intercept from the back row, and they have 5,000 shield. This deck kind of uses them as a resource, but this is your main this is the card that you're going to try to turbo into as fast as you can. Not quite as fast as in premium, but still this deck has ways of getting this into the soul and bypassing it besides its own effect. But with its own effect, you can actually do some cool defensive plays. If you're going against an Excel deck, you can set up, at best, 5 10k intercepts with this card, which an extra 50,000 shield can actually make or break a turn, help you survive. The thing with this, you want to go protect 1 because its discard cost is so heavy that you want extra discard fodder with protect 1, or if you have like a lot of PGs in hand. Also, you can discard the protect marker and immediately get it back as soon as this rides, and then you'll get another one at the end of turn. So just in card advantage alone, you want to go protect 1 with this deck. But yeah, those are our main aggro piece. Moving. Oh, and last but not least, we have Stealth Rogue of Prescription Mizukaze. This is the deck's primary win con. His effect is single effect. It is when placed, Soul Blast grade 3, and until end of turn, your opponent cannot call grades that he or she has called that turn from hand to guard circle. So basically, you swing one attack, they guard with a grade 1, for example. Then for the rest of the attacks that turn, they can't guard with grade 1. So this doesn't count intercepts, but this counts all the other grades. And since this deck has multi-attacking with Tasagare Hanzo, you basically set this up late game to have multiple Tasagare Hanzos in Soul, so that when you play this, you're essentially guaranteeing damage after the first 5 attacks and above, because your opponent can only guard with a grade 0, 1, 2, and 3, and then maybe intercept. If you have at least 2 Tasagare Hanzos in Soul, those are 32k attackers that your opponent will probably not be able to guard with easily. If they use their grade 0s for that, they're going to have to take the Vanguard swing. So this card just makes it incredibly difficult for your opponent to guard through multiple attacks, and high-powered ones at that if you have the right setup. So this is good as a 2 of, especially because in Nubatama you have a lot of ways of returning cards to hand, so once you see one of this, that's really all you need for the game. Now moving on to the grade 2s, we are only running 8 grade 2s here. We are running 4 Evil Stealth Dragon Yami Shibuki. This is the main token producer of the deck, this and one of the grade 1s. This card has 2 effects. Its first one is continuous during your turn. This unit gets plus 5,000 for each of your grade 0 rear guards. And then auto, Vanguard or rear guard, when it attacks, counterblast 1 and return one of your other rear guards to your hand and call up to 2 evil decoy tokens to rear guard. So on rear guard, this is already not only making you 2 evil decoy tokens when it attacks, but also as soon as that happens will become at least 19k, so you can hit vanguards with this unboosted. Serves a multitude of purposes in this deck. Basically, this is probably one of your most important pieces outside, Tasagare Hanzo and everything. Like, it is just a solid beat stick type of card and token producer. And then after that, we have 4 Magatsu Gale. Now, I know some lists in V Premium and Premium do not run this card. I think this is a must at 4, simply because the deck has Nubatama is a combo deck, and you want cards that can help you see more pieces as best you can, especially with Hanzo. You can play this, activate its effect, bounce it back to hand, and then if you have the counter blast and soul blast, you can play it again and draw an additional card with it. And then it also has the effect of, because I didn't even read its effect. It is Vanguard or Rear Guard when placed, Counterblast 1, Soul Blast 1, draw a card, and this unit gets plus 6,000 until end of turn. Then Rear Guard, at the end of the battle it attacked, you can put this unit to your soul and return one of your Rear Guards to your hand. So the second ability is pretty nice. There are cards that you want to be able to bounce back to your hand in this deck, Mizukaze being one of them. So this is very useful for that, or just, picking up its booster back to your hand if you're playing against control matchups. This card just hits so many utility points that I really can't see not running this card as a 4 of. The draw power is nice, the power gain is nice, becomes 15, so with an 8k boost it's 23, hits force numbers. This is just a very solid card all around, so I believe you should absolutely run this at 4. And then that concludes the grade 2s. Moving on to the grade 1s, we have one of the accelerators in the deck. We have Stealth Dragon Unin. Stealth Dragon Unin has quite a lot of text, so bear with me. His first effect is when this unit is rode upon, Soul Blast one and reveal a grade 3 normal unit from your hand. Search your deck for up to one grade 3 with a different card name from the card revealed for this cost. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Shuffle your deck. Then choose one card from your hand and put it on the bottom of the deck. And his rear guard ability is at the end of the battle, this unit boosted a rear guard. Put that boosted unit into your soul. Choose 2 of your rear guards and return them to your hand. So when you ride this card is helpful because, if you only have Tasagara in your hand, you can search for Akatsuki Hanzo. You can search out Mizukaze to save it for later, or if you are going second, you can even search out a Heal Guardian. The card you reveal from hand has to be a normal unit, but it just says search for a grade 3, so you can search out a Heal Guardian, add it to your hand. And then his other ability puts a unit into soul, so you can call a Tasagari Hanzo in front of him at the end of the battle. He will put that unit into your soul and then be able to use its other abilities, returning rear guards back to your hand, and then you have Hanzo set up. So this is one of the accelerators in the deck for Tasagari Hanzo, so of course we gotta run it at a 4 of. Next up, we have Evil Stealth Dragon Kage Sarashi. This is the other accelerator of the deck. He has one skill. It is Act, retire this unit, call up to 2 evil decoy tokens to rearguard. If you have a Vanguard with Hanzo in its card name, put a card from your hand into your soul. Search your deck for up to 1 card with Hanzo in its card name, reveal it, and put it into your hand, and shuffle your deck. This ability may only be used by a card with the same card name once a turn. It's hard once per turn on it, basically. So this is the other accelerator. If you have a Tasagari Hanzo in hand, you can slip it into soul, search out another one. Then you got Unin, so you can put that into soul another way. This deck, actually, if you draw those 2 pieces in the right order, you can accelerate 2 Tasagari Hanzos into your soul on first grade 3 turn. And when your opponent's at grade 2, it's absolutely brutal. Even if they have a Heal Guardian, you've got 2 to 3 attacks swinging 32 on them. Even with that and a defensive, you're still going to be able to hit over their Vanguard. So a lot of pressure can be produced with those 2 cards combined together, but even with one, this card makes tokens during your main phase especially, so you can go ahead and use this and then immediately use Hanzo's skill right after. But the fact that it can pump a Tasagari Hanzo into soul is very important, or if not, you can put a grade 3 in soul for Mizukaze, or just put something in the soul, just a soul charge, because this deck does use a fair amount of soul. So this card is very, very, very important to the deck. One of the prime accelerators and engine pieces in the deck. Then next up, one of the extenders we have is Evil Stealth Dragon Gyokusen. He has 2 abilities, Drop Zone Effect. When your grade 3 Vanguard is placed, Counterblast 1, put this card into your hand, or choose a grade 3 in your soul and put it into your hand. If you put a card from your soul into your hand, bind this card. And then auto, when this unit is returned to your hand from rearguard by your card's ability, Soul Blast 1, and call up to 2 evil decoy tokens to your open rearguard. As you have seen, both the grade 2s can return this to your hand to trigger its ability. Unin can also make this proc, bouncing it to your hand. Also, its effect has an important wording. It says when your grade 3 Vanguard is placed, not necessarily during your turn. So if you pitch this for a Tasagari Hanzo, you'll ride the Tasagari Hanzo, then this in your drop zone will see that you have placed a grade 3, so you can Counterblast 1, add this back to your hand. Pitching that in a protect marker, overall it's break even because it's a -1 on initial ride, but then you'll get another excel marker at the end of turn. So this is useful on a multitude of levels. You can bounce it back to your hand with Yami Shibuki after you've cleared up the field with Unin or Magatsu Gale, and you can bounce this back to your hand, make 4 evil decoy tokens to use with Tasagari Hanzo. this card helps a lot with the defense of the deck and just general helping combo out. I think 3 is a good number for it because, as I've explained, there you just can keep recycling this card once you've seen it. Moving on, we have 2 Stealth Beast Katari Gitsune. It's a grade 3 searcher, same effect as all grade 3 searchers when it's placed. Vanguard, Rearguard, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, search for a grade 3, reveal it, add it to your hand, and if you add, discard a card. His other ability is during your turn, if you have a token unit, this unit gets +5 continuous. Usually, you'll have a token unit in this deck. So 13k can be an attacker, can be a booster with, Magatsu Gale swinging for 28. It's pretty powerful. Boosting Yami Shibuki with 2 tokens on board is 32. Yeah, 32. Just a lot of power. Also, the main thing is it searches grade 3s. As we've seen, you need to see grade 3s in your hand for this deck to really work. I would like to run it more than 2, but this deck is so tight on space, I could really only fit in 2. And you can reuse it with Hanzo and other cards. So you can get away with 2, I believe. And then, last to round up the grade 1s, we have Stealth Rogue of the Night, Sakura Fubuki. This unit has one effect, it's Rearguard when placed. If you have 3 or more units, discard a card from your hand. This unit gets +3,000 until end of turn. And if there are 1 or less face-up cards in your damage zone, draw a card and countercharge 1. You don't use a whole lot of counterblasting in this deck, and even when you do, you can control it very easily. So this card is very supplementary in the deck. That's why I'm only running 2 of it, but I believe it still deserves a spot, because especially late game, once you've used up your counterblasts or your opponent's damage denying you, this can really come up. And 2 is fine, because once you see it again, you can keep bouncing it to hand and reusing it. So yeah, no, 2 is a good number. 2 is a good number. And then with the grade 0s, we have the starter, Magatsu Wind. We have 6 crit triggers. We have 6 draw triggers. And 4 heal guardians. I think 6 and 6 on the draws and the crits is the correct choice. You need to see a lot of combo pieces, so you want your draw triggers, but also if you cut too much into the crits, the deck loses a lot of its aggression, as its only win con is a late game Mizukaze once they're already at 4 or 5 damage. So you need to be able to get them there, and crits are a good way of doing that. I don't have to explain heal guardians, and you run your 4 sentinel PGs and 2 vanilla PGs. So yeah, with that about wraps up the deck. I went into a few of the combos, but we will go over it a little more in the wrap up. So with that concludes the deck profile. A little afterthoughts on this deck. I really love this deck. I really love Hanzo. He is my favorite Nubatama unit by far, but unlike my premium Hanzo, I don't really consider this super competitive. It's fun, don't get me wrong, and if you master it, it can take on some pretty formidable decks, but it's inconsistent and requires multiple combo pieces to really pop off, especially grade 3s. I have tried to put in as much grade 3 searching as possible to alleviate this problem, but it's still a problem. Sometimes the deck just bricks, and unlike premium where you can have G guards to back you up and you can go into things like Giacomesso to do some hand filtering, like rebuff your hand to draw into more combo pieces, you can't do that in V Premium. And V Premium, you don't have that defensive backup, so if you don't get your plan going right from the start, it can be really rough. That being said, though, with the token spam and Tasagari Hanzo, you get actually a surprising amount of defense out of it. it was able. I was testing against Spectral Duke, and it was able to keep up with Spectral Duke, and all the attacks that it was doing. So I don't think, like I said, I don't think this is a terrible deck. I just don't know if I would feel confident bringing it into a competitive environment the same way I would with my premium Hanzo. But with that, I hope you enjoyed. I hope you have a wonderful day, and I will catch y'all in the next one. Peace.